she's being told X, Y, and Z, and I don't think much of it's sticking. I think she just wants to.
My best because I know that especially in international stages, I represent quite a big.
Tears in Manila, terror in Abu Dhabi. Eala'S emotional homecoming and the nightmare draw that could define her career. Welcome back to Champions Tennisitics, your #1 source for the most electrifying stories, the rawest emotions, and the hardest-hitting analysis in the world of tennis. If you love the sound of a clean winner and the drama of the tour, smash that like button right now because you are in the right place. Today, we are diving deep into a story that has absolutely captivated the tennis world. This is a saga of national pride, tear-jerking sportsmanship, and a brutal test of fire awaiting one of the sport's brightest young stars. We are talking about the phenomenon that is Alexandra Eala. From the deafening roars of the Rawest Memorial Sports Complex in Manila to the glittering, unforgiving courts of Abu Dhabi, Alexandra Eala is on a journey that feels less like a sports season and more like a movie script written by someone who has a flair for the dramatic. But as she wipes away the happy tears from a historic week on home soil, reality has come crashing back with a vengeance. The draw for the Abu Dhabi Open is out, and to call it a nightmare might actually be an understatement. We have all the details. The emotional speeches, the backstage whispers, and the history-making opponent waiting to test the Eala Express. So sit back, get comfortable, and let us break down exactly why this week could be the turning point in the career of the Philippines tennis queen, the girl who came home. To truly understand the mountain Alexandra Eala has to climb in the Middle East, we first have to understand the emotional roller coaster she just stepped off of in Manila. For years, Filipino fans have tracked her progress on live streams and score apps, waking up at odd hours to watch her fight through tournaments across Europe. They cheered when she stunned the tennis world at the Miami Open last year, when a then 19-year-old wildcard ranked number 140 walked into Hard Rock Stadium and proceeded to dismantle 3 Grand Slam champions in a row. She beat 2017 French Open champion Jelena Ostapenko, then reigning Australian Open champion Madison Keys, and this is the moment that still gives people chills, she dismantled world number 2 Iga Swiatek 6-2, 7-5 in the quarterfinals. Just like that, Alexandra Eala became the first Filipino woman ever to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal. She became the first Filipino to crack the top 100. She became, overnight, a national treasure. But all those iconic moments happened thousands of miles away from home. The fans watched on screens. They celebrated in coffee shops at ungodly hours. And then, finally, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. The Philippine Women's Open, the country's first ever WTA 125 event. And for the first time in her professional career, Alexandra Eala would play on home soil, in front of the people who started this whole ride. The atmosphere at the Rawest Memorial Sports Complex was nothing short of electric. It was not just a tennis match. It was a coronation. Filipino fans filled every available seat, draped in national colors, waving flags, chanting her name. The energy was described by everyone present as something that transcended sport entirely. This was a country watching one of its own finally step onto the stage they had been dreaming about for years. The match that broke the internet. The highlight of that week, the moment still trending across social media and being replayed in coffee shops and living rooms across the archipelago, was Eala's round of 16 clash against Japan's Himeno Sakitsum. On paper, a 6-4, 6-0 victory looks routine. It looks like a day at the office for a top 50 player. But if you were there, or if you watched the broadcast, you know it was anything but ordinary. The first set was a genuine war. Sakitsum came out swinging with zero fear, completely unbothered by the partisan crowd that cheered every Eala winner like it was a match point in a Grand Slam final. The Japanese player fought brilliantly, retrieving balls that looked like they should have been winners, forcing Alex to dig deep into her well of patience and tactical intelligence. The tension in the Manila air was palpable. These two warriors traded blows from the baseline in a battle that had the entire stadium holding its breath. Eala was converting winners on 67% of her first serve points and 65% on her second serve, showcasing the kind of efficiency that separates good players from great ones. But it took every ounce of that efficiency to crack Sakkitsum open. When Eala finally took that first set 6-4, something shifted in the atmosphere. The floodgates opened. The second set was a masterclass, a ruthless, surgical display of power and precision that saw Eala bagel her opponent 6-0. But here's the thing. It was not the scoreline that stole the headlines that night. It was not the stat line or the tactical breakdown. It was what happened after the final ball was struck. In a sport that can often feel solitary and cutthroat, what Alexandra Eala did next reminded us all exactly why we fall in love with this game in the first place. She did not rush to the center of the court to bask in the glory alone. She did not perform an elaborate celebration. Instead, she walked to the net with a genuine warmth that radiated through the entire stadium. She embraced Himino Sakkitsum, not with the perfunctory handshake we see so often on tour, but with a real, heartfelt hug. She acknowledged the fight. She acknowledged the spirit of her opponent. And the Filipino crowd, known for their legendary passion, took their cue from their champion. They erupted in joy for Alex, yes, but they also gave Sakkitsum a long, thunderous round of applause for her never-say-die attitude. It was a moment of pure, unfiltered sporting class. And then came the interview. The microphone was handed to Alex, and for a brief moment, the poised, professional athlete melted away, revealing the heart of a young woman deeply moved by the occasion. Her voice trembled. You could see the emotion building behind her eyes as she looked into the camera. She delivered a heartfelt message directly to Sakkitsum, praising her resilience and thanking her for the battle. Those sincere words echoed around the concrete bowl of that stadium, and frankly, there was not a dry eye in the house. Fans were seen wiping tears, moved not just by the victory, but by the humility of their globe-trotting star. In that moment, Alexandra Eala was not just a tennis player. She was an ambassador of grace. It was the kind of moment that transcends sport entirely, proving that even in the heat of competition, humanity can shine the brightest. The reality check. But as the old saying goes in professional tennis, you are only as good as your next match. And while the warm glow of Manila is still fresh, the cold reality of the WTA Tour has arrived with a slap. Eala packed her bags, said her goodbyes to the home crowd following a tough quarterfinal loss to Colombia's Camila Osorio. A 6-4 defeat that, while stinging, did absolutely nothing to dampen the pride of the nation, and jetted off to the United Arab Emirates. Let us talk about that Osorio match for a second because context matters here. Osorio, a former world number 33 and herself a U.S. Open Junior champion, is no joke. The match was a closely contested affair from start to finish. Both players traded breaks early. Both players had momentum swings. Osorio simply struck when it mattered the most, converting decisive breaks in the ninth game of both sets. Eala held her head high afterward, telling the sold-out crowd, "What is important is I am here in Manila, in the Philippines, and I am thankful that the WTA is here. I love tennis so much, and I am so lucky that I am able to share this experience and this journey with all of you." That is the character of Alexandra Eala right there. Even in defeat, she refuses to let the moment be anything less than a celebration. But now the warmth of Manila is behind her. She has been awarded a coveted wildcard for the Abu Dhabi Open, a prestigious WTA 500 event. This is the big leagues. The points are higher, the prize money is richer, over $1.2 million at stake across the entire draw, and the competition is fierce. A champion takes home 500 ranking points and over $185,000. Even a first-round exit earns you a single ranking point. The stakes could not be higher. The draw of death. If Alex thought the pressure of playing in front of a home crowd was heavy, she arguably faces an even more daunting tactical challenge in the desert. The draw ceremony has taken place, and the tennis gods have absolutely not been kind to our Filipino champion. There are difficult draws, there are bad draws, and then there is the path Alexandra Eala has been handed in Abu Dhabi. It is a gauntlet that would make even a seasoned top 10 player sweat. Let us start with the immediate hurdle. In the first round, the round of 32, Alexandra Eala will face Zeynep Sönmez of Turkey. Now, casual fans might look at the rankings and think this is a manageable opener. Eala is currently sitting at number 49 in the world. Sanmez is ranked around 112. On paper, that looks like a winnable match. But here at Champions Tennisitics, we do not just look at numbers on a spreadsheet. We look at form. We look at momentum. We look at the fire in someone's eyes. And right now, Zeynep Sanmez is carrying enough of all three to light up the entire Middle East. Who is Zeynep Sanmez, and why should Alexandra Eala be worried? We have to talk about what Sanmez just did at the Australian Open, because it was historic. It was groundbreaking. It was the kind of performance that changes the narrative around a player forever. Sanmez did not just show up to Melbourne to collect a paycheck. She came through qualifying. She fought her way into the main draw. And then she proceeded to tear up the script in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. In her very first round match, she faced world number 11 Ekaterina Alexandrova, the seeded Russian, the established player, and Sanmez, ranked 112 and coming from qualifying, pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the entire tournament. She won 7-5, 4-6, 6-4 in a match that had the entire Melbourne crowd on its feet. With that victory, Zeynep Sanmez became the first Turkish woman in history to win a match at the Australian Open. Let that sink in for a moment. She made history for her entire nation with a single win. But the story did not stop there. In the very same match, Sanmez became one of the feel-good human stories of the entire Grand Slam. During the second set, a ball girl standing near the umpire's chair suddenly stumbled and collapsed in the brutal Melbourne heat. The temperatures were soaring. The young girl fell flat on her back. And before anyone else could react, Sanmez stopped play. She raised her hand, halted the match entirely, and rushed over to the struggling ball kid. She put her arm around the young girl, guided her toward the shade, and when the child fainted again in her arms, Sanmez caught her and lifted her into a chair. Medical staff took over from there. The match was delayed for 7 minutes while the ball kid received treatment. And when Sanmez returned to the court, she was met with thunderous applause from the crowd. After the match, she told reporters, "I always say it is more important to be a good human being than a good tennis player. It was just my instinct to help her, and I think everyone would do the same." If that does not tell you everything you need to know about the character of the player waiting for Alexandra Eala in round 1, then nothing will. This is not just a tennis player with hot form. This is a player who has captured the hearts of an entire nation, just like Eala has done for the Philippines. Two countries' darlings, meeting on the court in Abu Dhabi. The narrative writes itself. After the Alexandrova upset, Sanmez kept rolling. She defeated Anna Bonder in straight sets, 6-2, 6-4, to reach the third round of the Australian Open. With that win, she became the first Turkish player ever to reach the third round at Melbourne Park. The atmosphere in the stadium was described as electric, with a sea of red Turkish flags filling the stands. And let us not forget what this young woman has already accomplished in her career. This is the same player who, as a wildcard ranked number 140 at the 2025 Miami Open, defeated 3 Grand Slam champions in straight sets at a single WTA event, something only one other wildcard in history has ever done. She upset Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek. She became the first Filipino woman to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal, the first Filipino to enter the WTA Top 100. She went on to reach her first WTA final at Eastbourne, won her first WTA 125 title at Guadalajara, and finished the year ranked a career-high number 50. She opened 2026 with a semifinal run at the ASB Classic in Auckland and lifted the trophy at the Kooyong Classic. This is not a player who wilts under pressure. This is a player who has repeatedly proven that she thrives on the biggest stages when the lights are brightest. The mental game. But let us bring it back to the present. Let us bring it back to the narrative that is unfolding right now, today, as we speak. The Abu Dhabi Open is not just another tournament for Alexandra Eala. It is a pivot point, a crossroads. After the emotional high of Manila, the tears, the hugs, the adoration of an entire nation, it is incredibly difficult to reset the mental clock. There is a well-known phenomenon in sports called the homecoming hangover. After pouring so much emotional energy into her matches at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, after the devastation of the Osorio loss, and the incredible high of the Sakitsam victory, and that unforgettable embrace at the net, does Alex have enough fuel left in the tank to perform at her best? The physical toll of traveling from the humid tropics of the Philippines to the desert air of Abu Dhabi is one factor. But the emotional toll is another beast entirely. She is leaving a zone of total and unconditional support, where every single error was forgiven by the crowd, and entering a neutral battleground where only her racket can do the talking. Zeynep Sonmez will not care about Eala'S heartfelt speeches after matches. Paula Badosa will not care about how much the Filipino people love their star. They are there to win. Period. This is where champions are truly made. It is easy to play well when you are feeling fresh and the draw is wide open and the crowd is behind you. It is an entirely different animal to perform when you are emotionally drained. The draw is stacked against you, and your very first opponent is playing the best tennis of her life. This week will tell us more about Alexandra Eala's maturity than any other tournament she has played in 2026. Can she compartmentalize the emotions of Manila? Can she flip the switch from the darling of the crowd to the assassin on the court? Eala herself has spoken extensively about compartmentalization as a skill. After her Swiatek upset in Miami, she told reporters, "I have experience with compartmentalizing. I have experience with being professional. I have no hesitation to bring that part of me out when I'm on court and when I'm in a setting that calls for professionalism." Those words suggest she understands exactly what is required of her right now. The Filipino fans believe she can do it. The tennis world is watching to see if she will. Her rise to the top 50 has been steady, marked by grit, continuous improvement, and a willingness to learn from every single setback. She has added power to her serve, depth to her forehand, and as we saw against Sakitsum in Manila, a killer instinct to close out sets when the pressure is on. But the WTA 500 level is a different beast. Mistakes are punished instantly. Short balls are put away without hesitation. There is no margin for error. The bigger picture. So here is the storyline you need to follow over the coming days. The girl with the golden heart meets the draw of death. Two history makers from two proud nations, Eala carrying the flag of the Philippines and Sonmez carrying the flag of Turkey, colliding on the hard courts of Abu Dhabi in a match that means everything to both of them. Will the momentum of her Manila homecoming propel Eala to a stunning upset, or will the Australian Open history maker Zeynep Sonmez cut her desert campaign short in the very first round? Every single point is going to matter. Every game is going to be a battle, and we will be here to cover every second of it. This is the beauty of professional tennis. One week you are crying tears of joy and gratitude in front of your countrymen in a packed stadium in Manila. The next week you are fighting for survival thousands of miles away in the desert heat against a hungry, fearless opponent who has everything to prove. Alex Eala is living this reality right now, in real time. She has the game. She has the heart. She has the backing of millions of passionate fans. She has already proven she can shock the tennis world on the biggest stages. Now she just needs to find a way to win when nobody is cheering her name. The Abu Dhabi Open kicks off today, February 1st. The draw is set. The opponents are waiting. And Alexandra Eala is about to find out exactly what she is made of when the roar of Manila fades and the silence of Abu Dhabi begins. Call to action. We want to hear from you, the real experts. What do you make of Alex Eala's brutal draw in Abu Dhabi? Can she take down the in-form, history-making Zeynep Sonmez? Or is the Turkish star's confidence simply too high right now after that incredible Australian Open run? And what did you think of that emotional moment in Manila with Sakitsum? That hug at the net? Did it get you? Be honest. Let us know your predictions and your thoughts in the comments section down below. We read every single one of them, and we love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Alex Eala's roller coaster week, please do us a massive favor. Destroy that like button. Share this video with every tennis fan you know. Send it to your group chats. And most importantly, subscribe to Champions Tennisitics and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single story. We do not just report the news here. We feel it with you. We live it with you. The tennis season is heating up fast, and trust us, you do not want to miss what happens next. Until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
Alex, after a terrific year last year, how does it feel to be making your main draw debut at Melbourne?
It feels great. I'm super excited. Kamusta mga kapong Pinoy? Surprise! Excited na akong imbitahin kayong lahat na manood sa mga laban ko sa Mubadala Abu Dhabi.